All right, welcome back to the deep dive. This is where we try to deliver the intellectual architecture behind some pretty complicated concepts, some really dense source material.
And this one is definitely dense.
Oh, it really is. Today we're tackling something, well, something fundamental. It's the quest for personal purpose and fulfillment.
Right.
We got this incredible document here. It's a purposeful speaker's guide, basically a detailed blueprint for a high-impact motivational presentation. And it's not just notes.
No, it's a whole system. It's much more than just a speech. This guide, it lays out a whole progression. It's about how to immediately engage the listener, how to, expose your own vulnerability to build trust, and then how to introduce a structured framework, and finally how to translate all that into real daily actions. It's a full package.
That's exactly the mission for our deep dive today. We're going to try and extract the essential architecture of this guide. We want to find the tools, the questions, the things designed to help you move from feeling like you're just wandering to living an intentional life.
We want to find those aha moments.
Yes, exactly. Pinpoint where that light switch flips on.
And we should probably start right there with the switch, because the source material is smart. It doesn't open with some heavy philosophical lecture.
No, it jumps right in.
It starts with immediate engagement through these really memorable analogies. Purpose is so abstract, so the guide just grounds it instantly with simple metaphors.
Okay, let's look at this icebreaker toolkit then. The guide outlines 4 distinct analogies, and the first one is maybe the most powerful. It's the light switch analogy.
Yes, and it's framed around a really common feeling: frustration. Imagine you're in the dark, right? You're stumbling around, maybe you've burnt the food, you feel lonely. Everything just feels chaotic.
That's the darkness.
Exactly. And purpose, the speaker argues, is the light switch. Flipping it doesn't magically solve all the problems, but it completely changes how you see them.
It changes your perspective.
Instantly. And the guide even tells the speaker to ask the audience to physically imagine flipping that switch. That little kinetic connection is meant to make the idea feel real, feel tangible.
I love that. It immediately establishes control. You're not just waiting for the sun to come up. You can flip the switch yourself. Which leads right into the second analogy.
The GPS story.
Yeah, which is all about direction.
This one is just brilliant for removing the shame from past mistakes. If you miss a turn on the highway, what does your GPS do? It doesn't yell at you.
No, it just says recalculating.
Calmly, without judgment. And that's what purpose is, according to the guide. It's your internal navigation. You can take wrong turns, you can get lost, but your purpose is that constant force just gently trying to guide you back. It reframes failure as just redirection.
That's so critical. We waste so much time beating ourselves up. The third one, though, this one seems to hit a nerve. The poorly fitting shoes story.
It's so relatable, isn't it? The speaker talks about buying these beautiful, expensive shoes that were just the wrong size, and every single step was just pain. But they looked good.
Right. Enduring pain for the sake of appearance.
And that's the lesson. You cannot live intentionally in a purpose that doesn't actually belong to you. If the fit is wrong, if you're living someone else's definition of success, every step you take is misery.
Even if the whole world is telling you how great your shoes look.
Exactly. It's all about that external validation versus your internal reality.
So that contrasts really well with the final analogy, the seed story, which is all about potential.
It is a seed sitting on a table. It has all this potential, but it will never become what it's meant to be.
You're dormant.
Completely. And purpose, in this metaphor, is the soil, the water, the sunlight. It's everything that allows the seed us to actually grow into what it was created to be.
So you have light, direction, comfort, and growth. That's a really comprehensive definition of purpose, and we haven't even gotten to the main speech yet.
No, it just sets the stage perfectly for the core narrative, which is where it gets really personal. The journey from pain to power.
This is where the speaker has to build that emotional bridge.
Absolutely. The narrative starts with the speaker detailing a time defined by, and I'm quoting here, the pain of rejection, the emptiness of confusion, and the tragedy of wandering without purpose.
That's heavy.
It is. And they use this incredibly powerful quote from Dr. Miles Monroe to just drive it home. The greatest tragedy in life is not death, but life without purpose.
Wow. That's a jolt. It frames purposelessness as like an existential failure.
It does. And the guide makes it clear this personal awakening for the speaker didn't happen when they were young. It happened in their 40s.
After years of chasing the wrong things.
Exactly. Chasing external standards, comparison, what other people thought. And the turning point, the guide says, was a piece of advice from a teacher.
What was it?
Go within. Look inside yourself. The answers are not out there. They are in here.
Go within. Okay, that's easy to say. But how does the guide suggest you actually do that? How do you really move from that pain to power?
Well, going within means first, intentional solitude. You have to get quiet. And then you have to really examine the source of your pain, the source of that rejection.
Okay.
If the pain is coming from trying to fit into someone else's box, the power comes from deciding to define yourself from the inside out. The guide says purpose is the antidote. It transforms that tragedy into your testimony.
So you're shifting your focus from being a victim, what happened to me,
Yes, to having a vision, what I was made for. Your past struggles become the very proof, the evidence for your future message.
that transformation. It can't just be an emotional high. It needs a structure to survive. And that's where the guide brings in the intellectual core.
Right. The essential framework of existence. This is the heavy-duty section.
Yeah.
And it's built on what the guide calls the 5 essential questions, again, attributed to Monroe's teachings.
And these are designed to be a map, right?
Yeah.
Answered in order.
Precisely. The first one is the absolute foundation. 1, who am I? It's all about identity. The guide is so clear. If you don't know who you are, everything else you do is just imitation.
Okay. Identity first. Then what?
Then comes 2, where am I from? And the guide is very specific that this is about a spiritual origin, the idea that you were created and sent here with intention.
So it anchors your identity in something much bigger than your job or your current situation.
Exactly. It's the belief that you're here by design, not by accident. And that belief directly fuels the next question. 3, why am I here?
Which is purpose, the reason for existing.
Yes, the singular reason. And once you have identity and purpose, then the framework shifts to action.
Okay.
So 4, what can I do? This is about your gifts, your talents. And the guide says your gifts aren't for you. They're the tools you were given to serve others and carry out your purpose.
So your function reveals your design.
That's the key principle. If you're an amazing communicator, your function probably involves speaking or writing. Your gifts are the clues to your purpose.
So my talents point toward my mission. And the last question.
5, where am I going? And this is vision. Vision directs your destiny. The guide warns that if you answer the first 4 but have no vision for the future, you'll just wander right back into confusion.
It's a complete system. Identity, origin, purpose, gifts, and vision. It all links together.
And supporting all of that is a core requirement. Love yourself first. The source calls it a prerequisite for any healthy relationship. If you don't have that, your connections will always be about neediness or fear.
And this all leads to, I think, the most powerful warning in the entire guide about what happens when you don't know your purpose.
Where function is unknown, abuse is inevitable.
That's such a strong statement. What kind of abuse are they talking about?
It's not just physical abuse, it's misuse. It's self-sabotage. If you don't know the function of your time, your energy, your talent, you will abuse them. You'll waste time on distractions, let your energy get drained, accept rejection because you don't even know your own value.
Purpose creates its own defense system.
Exactly. Which brings us perfectly to the practical application part of the guide, the Q&A section. This is where the philosophy gets real.
Right. This is the how-to, and they start with a really common point of confusion.
Passion versus purpose. So many people mix these two up.
This distinction is so important. The guide says passion excites you. It's high energy, but it can change. Purpose, on the other hand, defines you. It's stable.
Passion is the fuel in the car. It gives you the drive. But purpose is the steering wheel. It gives you the non-negotiable direction.
So how do you know when you've actually found it? The purpose, I mean.
The guide is very practical here. It says you'll know because it brings a deep sense of peace and clarity. And crucially, this is true even if the people around you don't get it. It's an internal verification, not an external one.
That internal peace is the goal.
Yeah.
But what happens when that peace gets challenged by, just life, negativity, stress, overwhelm?
The guide offers a simple tool for flipping negativity. It says you have to just halt the mental spiral. Stop, pause, take a breath. And then choose gratitude. The source literally calls gratitude the fastest way to flip the switch because it immediately shifts your focus from what's wrong to what's right. It's a high-speed recalibration.
I like that. And that same kind of intentionality applies to relationships, which the guide handles with a really sophisticated idea about boundaries.
Setting boundaries as filters. This is one of the most actionable things in the whole document.
It's a great reframe. They're not walls to keep people out.
No, not at all. They're active filters to protect your purpose. Once you've defined your purpose with those 5 questions, your filter only lets in the people and projects that add value to that journey.
So you start evaluating relationships as investments. And the guide suggests a pretty direct question to ask.
Mm.
Do they qualify to walk with me? Can we be profitable together?
And profitable here isn't about money. It's about energy, focus, vision, and growth. Are they draining you or are they multiplying your efforts? If your vision is clear, you have to be disciplined about who gets to be in that space with you.
And to maintain all of this, to make it stick, there's a specific daily habit they recommend.
Right, consistency is what locks it all in. The habit is simple. You start your day with reflection, the guide mentions prayer, and then you commit to one. Just one single intentional action toward your vision for that day.
Just one thing.
One small thing. But it ensures that you are driving your life, not just reacting to whatever comes at you.
This has been such a fascinating look at how to take a huge abstract concept like purpose and just build a step-by-step actionable framework around it.
The final takeaway from the guide is just so empowering. It's that you are not a passenger. You are in control of your own journey. The ultimate victory is discovering why you were born and then having the courage to walk boldly in it.
It really moves you from being defined by outside rejection to being driven by your own internal intention.
So here's where it gets interesting for you, the learner. We've just pulled apart the blueprint from this guide, and it all points back to this idea of intentional solitude, finding that quiet space for courage and clarity. So we've looked inward at the guide. Now think about this. Which of those 5 essential questions, identity, origin, purpose, gifts, or vision, if you could answer it truly and definitively right now, which one would immediately shift your story from tragedy into testimony? That's where the work begins.